Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lucky Dog Gen 6 Series hosted event here at Texas Motor Speedway. Got our typical 100 laps ready for you. And before we get too far into this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go through our starting lineup because we got quite a few drivers out here this evening. Starting on pole, we have the number 429, Paul Witt. To his outside in second place, we have the number 78, Gary Slapinski. Starting in third, we have the number 25 of John Held, and in fourth, the 26 of Riley Marabello. Starting in fifth, we have the 24 of Jason Adams, and in sixth, the 92 of Jason Anderson. Starting sixth, we have the 10 of Derek Garrison, and in eighth, we have the 28 of Larry Eddy. Starting ninth, we have the 140 of Jim Featherstone, and in 10th, we have the 53 of Randolph Richard. 11th, we have the 29 of David Oliveri, and in 12th, we have the 777 of Michael Pegg. Starting 13th, we have the 17 of Gary Ragland, and to his outside in 14th is the 27 of Mike Rimkus. Starting 15th, we have the 42 of Rick Adams, and 16th, the 83 of Rob Malone. Starting 17th is the 43 of Sandy Curtis, and 18th, the 22 of Shane Bowie. Starting 19th, we have the 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr., and in 20th, myself, but I'm in the booth, so... moving on to 21st, we have the 00 of Thomas Holder. Starting 22nd, we have the 8 of John Petrozel. Starting 23rd, we have the 19 of Ben Gear. And 24th, we have the 99 of Kim Kraus. Starting 25th, we have the 91 of Joel Guy. And 26th, we have the 58 of Chris Hogue. We do have in 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th, respectively, we have the 44 of Jason Higginbottom, with the 5 of Eric Thornton, the 9 of Elliot Pritchett, and the 072 of Shane Loveridge, although it appears those four gentlemen have opted to duck out just after practice. So if they log back in, those will be their starting positions, and we hope they do. All right, so like we said, 100 laps here, 55 laps roughly of fuel. These guys should have plenty of fuel to make it halfway, but the question is, are those tires going to hold up, and is running to halfway the optimal thing to do? We will see as this goes on. Pace car should be coming to pit road here shortly. Green flag is out. Got a much better start there from the top than the bottom. 78 Gary Sapinski already cleared the 429 of Paul Witt. He's got the 26 all over his rear bumpers. They dive it into turn one. Paul already having lost 2 positions before he even makes it to the turn 2 exit. A little bit of contact, a little bit of door contact. Paul Witt up into the field. Caution is out. It's drilled by the 42. Well, that is an exciting way to start a race. Not how any of these guys wanted to get this going. So we'll go ahead and we will take a look again right here at this 429 and the 26. We'll look at this from the chopper cam. See, they go off here into turn one. Paul Witt doing everything he can to keep to the inside of that 26. 26 pinches him, but Paul Witt starts coming up before the 26 does. That makes contact. And unfortunately, it just catches a whole bunch of drivers from there. We skip back and we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and watch the 22 here as he tries to make his way. This all happens right in front of him. And he goes to the inside, tries to avoid it. And right there's the 42 and the 429 right on his hood. He goes ahead and he takes a tow. Looks like he blew his engine. That is most unfortunate. So we'll go ahead and we'll ride along with the 429 here real quick. As soon as I find my cockpit view, here we go. So we're going here. This is off the initial start. You can see Paul Witt, he's going to come down. He's going to hug this inside white line. What he's expecting is going to happen is that 26 is going to give him a little more room. The 26 does not give him the room that maybe he's expecting. And instead of holding it down, you can see he takes that big hit there from the 42. He just gets into his right side, that's our left side, and that really knocks the 429 down the track. He gets... Yeah, we'll get the right guy here. Here we go. He slightly overcorrects, and that sends him right back up into the field. We'll see here from the 42's perspective. This all happens. He was looking to drive through it. Unfortunately, that did not happen for the 42. Looks like he is still taking a tow. It was unfortunate for the 42 there of Rick Adams. So the 78 here is your leader. '26 will be in second place starting on the outside, so that jumbles up the top 5 a little bit, but not too much. So Gary Sapinski started second, will be running first. Riley Marabello started 4th, will be second. John Held started 3rd, is still in 3rd. Jason Adam moves up a spot to 4th, and Derek Garrison goes from 7th to 5th on that start. But something that we really need to keep an eye on, with all that carnage, Michael Pegg made up 6 positions. Went from 12th to 6th with how all that panned out. So he's definitely one of the luckiest guys here. I mean, his qualifying effort, unfortunately, very abnormal for Michael. Usually he starts up in the top 5. Tonight he started outside the top 10. So it definitely appears as though he is the major winner in all of this. We have a few fellas who are also able to move up a fairly significant number of positions. The 8 of John Petrozel, he went from 22nd to 14th off of that. The 99 of Kim Kraus, he went from 24th to 16th. So we're seeing a lot of guys moving up the field based on this caution here, just by virtue of, fortunately for them, not being caught up in it. And it appears the 22 of Shane Bowie opted to park it for the night, but we do have the 24, the 42. The 2 Adams are getting me confused. The 42 of Rick Adams is back out, so he'll be looking to get his laps back. The 92 of Jason Anderson here, he is back out, scored 1 lap down, and the 429, I do believe, due to causing that caution, I believe he's been EOL'd. So he'll be starting from the back. But we know Paul Witt very fast here, started on pole. He's very good at keeping those tires looking real nice and everything. So I expect to see him back up towards the front here before too long. Lights are out on the pace car. So we will be going back racing here on lap 6. Gary Sapinski is your leader. Riley Marabello to his outside in second. His pace car dips off. John Held parked right on the rear bumper of the 78. Jason Adams parked right on the back of Riley Marabello's. Here they go. Green flag is out. 26 about even with the 78 on that start. Looked like maybe he got a little bit better start there. He was slightly nose ahead there just after the line as they fire it off here into turn 1. These two side by side. 26 giving a lot more room to the bottom this time, but still going for that same kind of exit that he was, trying to pinch off the 78. Not quite able to keep Gary down there. It's a 25 of John Held challenges on the bottom side. Looks like he's given him a little bit of a pinch. Gary Sapinski doing his best to check out. Michael Pegg moved up to the 5th position. He's inside Derek Garrison. Currently, it is a 4-way battle here for 2nd place as Gary Sapinski does everything he can to get out away from this. Michael Pegg gets an excellent run, gets him up to the 4th position, but Derek Garrison challenges again there on the outside in the 10. These two are side by side. We see these two great. Derek is a hard guy to beat, especially at these mile-and-a-half tracks. He is always there, knows exactly where to put that car. Michael Pegg is going to have his hands full trying to get past that 10, complete this pass. 140. I do believe that's the 140. Jim Featherstone, he tags the wall there, but he's looking while these guys are running side by side to maybe insert himself into this conversation. While we were talking about all this, the 25 of John Held managed to clear the 26 of Riley Marabello. He is currently running in 2nd place. He is not holding back. We talk with John Held frequently that he slides back, and maybe he slides back a little bit too far, and that's how he ends up in those positions where he's got to play catch up at the end. As he lets the 26 and the 777 go, puts Michael Pegg up to 3rd, puts Riley Marabello back into 2nd place, and now John Held's got a rearview mirror full of Derek Garrison, but you can see John Held is running a lot harder than we're used to him seeing. He wants to be up there tonight, it looks like. Doesn't want to put himself in that position where it's 20 laps to go and he's got to make up 5 seconds of time. That can be very, very difficult. We've seen it happen before, but he does not want to be there. But also these guys up here at the front trying to single file out, trying to see if they can make some sort of breakaway here from the pack. Unfortunately, it did not look like it's working. We got these top 4. Caution is out. Looks like the 27 car is around. To skip back and see what happened here. Mike Rimkus to a stop on the inside. We're going to go back a little bit. I think we went back a little bit too far. This is going into turn 1. Makes it through turns 1 and 2 just fine. He's all by himself from what I can see. No one really has a run. Just brings it down and stops it. Not entirely certain what's going on. I think that's... He's still sitting there. Mike may have a technical issue, may have a personal issue, just brought it down and... I mean, he brought it down out of the way, didn't collect anybody. So, that's a benefit. This is the first time we've seen a caution like this. So, I mean, we hope everything's okay here with the 27. It's unfortunate. I mean, we've seen Mike in here before racing with us a few times. I don't think we've really touched on him too often, but he's one of the... I have it on good authority that he's a very clean racer himself. So if he's ducking it off the track, then we're either looking at a hardware issue or we're looking at something, maybe a house emergency. Dog, maybe, I don't know if he has a dog, but maybe dog unplugged his wheel, something like that. We've seen stuff like that happen before. I mean, I know that my wife owns a 98-pound German Shepherd, and I've had him accidentally unplug my monitor before. So it's happened, and we're just going to hope that that's what's going on. It's just something simple fix like that. All right. So, your top 5. Absolutely thrown on its head. Restarting first is going to be the 78 of Gary Sapinski. He started second. It's been up here first for most of the race. 777 of Michael Pegg has made up a massive amount of positions. He went from 12th to 2nd, so he'll be restarting on the outside. Restarting in 3rd will be the 26 here Riley Marabello. This guy has been wicked fast. Looking forward to seeing what kind of speed he's got in a long run. He's very aggressive in the short run. So I want to see what he can bring to the table. We get about 30, 40 laps on these tires. Restarting in fourth will be the 25 of John Held. John Held here started third, running fourth. And he's, like we mentioned, he's running a lot more aggressive than we're used to seeing him run. Very eager to see what kind of, how aggressive he can be while saving those tires. And then in fifth, we have the 140 of John Featherstone. John here started ninth, up inside the top 5. He seems to get faster just about every race he runs here with Lucky Dog. Running there in that FedEx Toyota. I would be willing to bet man is a Denny Hamlin fan. I don't know. It's just a feeling I got. But that's okay. We love everybody around here. Very beautiful car. Gotta love the paint scheme. Very hard to miss that vehicle. Like to see it up inside the top 5. Someone we want to go ahead and mention. We're going to go ahead and look at the 29 of Dave Oliveri. Dave here, he started 11th in that Red Bull car. He is currently running in the 7th position. The 8 of John Petrozel started 22nd. He's running in 9th, making great strides here through the field. We also want to take an opportunity to look at the 91 of Joel Guy, started 25th. He's up to 12th. And the guy we really need to be keeping an eye on, that 429 of Paul Witt. Paul here started on pole. He got sent to the back after that for initial caution. He is already back up from 25th to 13th. So he is making great strides through this field. Expect to keep seeing him making those strides. Just about everyone here on the exact same level of tire wear. We only have, I want to say, about 9-10 laps of green flag racing on these tires. So while they do have some wear, it's not too terrible much. These guys should be able to run for a very good long time. Remember, we mentioned they have 55 laps of fuel. Green flag is out. Michael Pegg was about a full car length back when that came out. He gets cleared by both the 78 and the 26 before they even make it to turn 1. Excellent start there from that bottom lane. That 26 giving a good push to the 78 there on every start. He's been behind him. He's already thinking maybe ducking low, trying to pass Gary Sapinski for that lead. Not quite able to get there this time. That 777 of Michael Pegg, he's coming with a full head of steam. He's getting ready to challenge, looking to see where he can maybe separate the 26 and the 78. These two cars very, very fast together. 26 already looking to the inside of the 78, going into turn 1. Dives it down in there. Gary Sapinski giving him a little bit of a pinch. 26 not going to have the run that maybe he's looking for. So he dives it down to the bottom, keep it away from the side draft of the 777. He's able to do that, stay side by side with the 78. Michael Pegg has opted to go with the 78 of Gary Sapinski. We see these two work very, very well together on Tuesday and Thursday nights. That is unsurprising that he chose Gary, and he's able to get Gary clear. It does not look like Michael Pegg himself is going to be able to clear. 26 is still to his inside. That number 25 of John Held trying to get there to help. Try and get that 26 up there to really challenge. John Held really wants these guys ahead of him to be running side by side, be tearing up these tires, and that 26 is not going anywhere. He is dug into the bottom like it's his job. He did not make that pass easy for the 777. Michael Pegg had to use up a lot of tire to be on the outside to be able to make that pass. You can run really fast there along the outside, there, middle outside lanes, but it really tears up those tires, especially the right rear. I was talking with some of these drivers during practice. This car is running very, very tight tonight, so the last thing you need is to be wearing out that right rear, making this thing exceptionally loose. This 26 goes back to work on the 777. They're on the bottom, got a really good run. Does not look like he's going to have the momentum to make that pass. They're going to be side by side here coming off the corner. But I expect the 777 will have him cleared by turn 3 exit. He does. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take an opportunity. We're going to ride along with 25 and John Held. We're going to watch this racing that's happening in front of him. Maybe we should look a little further back, right along with the 140, because he's seeing the 10. And just as I say that, the 140 gets taken too wide. If we're going to do a ride-along, I don't know who with. There is so much exciting racing happening up here at the front. Looks like the 26 was able to get the outside of the 777. So now he's got what looks to be, from what we've noticed, that preferred lane. He's got that 10 of Derek Garrison behind him, giving him a nice push. He might be able to get past the 777 here. If he can get past Michael, split Gary Sapinski and Michael Pegg up, then we are looking at one heck of a race already. He's able to drop down in between them, keeps it up high. He knew Michael was going to be diving it in there. So he keeps it up there in that second lane. He's getting a phenomenal run. He's getting right up to almost the right rear corner panel of Gary Sapinski. As they're able to clear, he gives Gary a shot going down the backstretch, pushes him well clear of the 777. As he drops into line, 10 of Derek Garrison out there, now fighting Michael Pegg for the 3rd position. Michael's got to wonder how hard does he want to fight here for this 3rd position right now. Derek Garrison's a hard guy to pass. He's a hard guy to keep from passing you. And Michael already used up a lot of tire trying to fight that 26 earlier. So 26 again, thinking about going for a pass on that 78, decides better of it, drops back a little bit. See if he can get that run a little bit better, but that brings him right to the front bumper of the 10. And that 10's able to get to his outside. I expect Derek Garrison's going to be able to get past Riley Marabello. And it looks like he's got the momentum there around the outside. Gary Sapinski's probably going to pop up, see if he can pull Derek with him a little bit. He does. Derek clears Riley as they head into turn 3. Derek, one of those drivers not content to be 2nd place, as Riley now comes back under fire from Michael Pegg. All while the 25, John Held, he's fighting for his life right next there with the 24 of Jason Adams. Both of these guys fighting very, very hard for 5th place. But with how the 26 and the 777 have been running, these guys are all actually looking like they're racing for 3rd. So we got a 4-car battle for 3rd place. For now, the 777 of Michael Pegg appears like he's come out on top. With all this side-by-side racing, Gary Sapinski and Derek Garrison are checking out. Derek's doesn't seem like he's very interested right now in trying to pass Gary, maybe trying to force a mistake, if anything. Trying to see if he can get past that way. Of course, we know Gary Sapinski is a very, very difficult guy to try and rattle. But Derek here just running in his tire tracks, trying to make that gap, and it looks like we have a caution. I think that's the 91. That is the 91 of Joel Guy, who is around. Caution is out. We're going to go ahead and we're going to back this up, going through the quad oval. He's racing here with the 140 of Jim Featherstone. Looked like he had a little bit of an issue. I mean, he's run all the way back in the 20th position here. As they go through turn 2, 91 just pushes it a little too hard, bounces off the wall, collects the 140. Everyone behind him checking up, looking for that gap through. We're going to go ahead, we're going to go back, we're going to ride along with the 99. We're going to watch this happen, because I believe the 99 had a front row seat to it. You see the 91 bounce off the track, collect Jim Featherstone in the 140. He just snakes it through there, able to avoid that caution. So we'll go ahead and we'll ride along with Joel here. I believe. Here it is. So we ride along with Joel Guy through here. You know how we were talking with these guys about how tight these cars are. You can hear him feathering that throttle. He's trying to get that car to turn, and it just will not. It's unable to keep it off the wall, unable to keep it out of the 140. We'll go ahead and we'll ride with Jim here. As he sees that 91 start to wash up, I think maybe Joel got back in the throttle just a little bit early. Jim lets out. try and give the 91 some room, and just does not quite work in his favor. Take a look at that one more time, but I think we know what happened. Fortunately, not a lot of damage to both of these cars. They should be good to come down pit road, just get their optional repair paired off. But also here in Lucky Dog, we do have 2 fast repairs. So both these guys should be able to get their cars going 100% here before too long. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to our leaders here. So we get the 78 of Gary Sapinski in first. To his outside is the 10 of Derek Garrison. Derek, who has been challenging for the lead very valiantly, I might add. Here in third, we got the 26 of Riley Marabello, who has not faded back at all. This guy has been challenging for every single position that he's been around. Very aggressive driver, very, very talented so far from what I see, what I've seen so far. In fourth, we got the 777 of Michael Pegg, who is probably wondering, what do I got to do to get around these guys? He's probably sweating with how much the 10 and the 26 been racing him, especially this early on. We know Michael really likes to save his tires, and no one around him has let him do that so far. So he's probably thanking his lucky stars that we got a caution there. About 25 laps of green flag racing on these tires, and he did a lot of that side by side. Here in fifth, 24 Jason Adams. Once he got up here, he's been up here all night, started fifth, running fifth. He's been in the conversation all night long, and we were talking about him. Keep an eye on him. Started first, was 25th, now is 6th. Paul Witt, well inside the top 10. Everyone came down pit road. Everyone took tires. And this is where Paul Witt's the most dangerous. He's got fresh tires. He's got that preferred line. We'll see what that Doritos machine can do tonight, but I expect we'll be talking about Paul Witt up inside the top 3 well before this race is over. Looks like lights are out on the pace car. This is lap 29, so we'll be retaking the green flag here on lap 30. It does appear that wreck there, unfortunately, did end Jim Featherstone's night. That is unfortunate for Jim. So the 140 has unfortunately dropped out of the event. Pace car leads him here through turns 3 and 4, so it should be dipping off the track here momentarily. Pace car dips off. Gary Sapinski leads him back towards the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. Derek Garrison all by himself. There was a full car length between himself and the 777 when that started. He's able to clear the 26 going here into turn 1. But he is not going to have much help here out the back. Gary Sapinski doing everything he can to not pull either one of them. Maybe got a little loose through there, not entirely certain, but Gary Sapinski was all the way down to the bottom. He's bringing the 26 with him. The 10 doing his best to side draft up there a little further up the track. As we are 3 wide, a little bit further back in the field. The 10 gets a very nice run out of turn 4, is able to stay out ahead of the 26, gets that run through turn 1 and 2, clears Marabella there well before turn 2 exit. These guys running very, very hard. We'll take a look back at Marabella. He was running side by side for a little bit there with the 777. opted to lift and drop back there a little bit. I've had the 777, it just had that much of a monster run. But they are through. Looks like the 25 of John Held has been able to work his way up into the 5th position as he challenges Marabella there a little bit for the 4th position. Not too much though. But he's got a rear view mirror full of the 429 of Paul Witt. Paul looking to see what he can do to make it through this field as quickly as possible. Remember, we were talking, these guys have 55 laps of fuel. We retook the green flag there on lap 30. So these guys going to be able to run to about lap, if my math's correct, 85 before they have to pit. But if I was a bet man, I'd be willing to bet that someone like Paul Witt here, he's going to pit before the guys ahead of him. He's going to try and get down pit road, get some fresh tires on that car before any of the folks that he is currently chasing. He's probably only going to run, I guess, about 30 laps on this, 30, 35 laps on the set of tires before he comes down pit road, put some freshies on there. But here's the thing, you can bet this man right here in the lead, Gary Sapinski, he knows. The number 10 of Derek Garrison, he knows. The 777 here, Michael Pegg, he knows. And with as fast as this guy's been, that 26, he does as well. These top 4 here know exactly what it is they're going to have to do to keep that 429 behind him. They're still running very, very hard between the 4 of them. I am very, very happy with how this race is turning out so far. Texas Motor Speedway has a little bit of a reputation for being not the most exciting race on the NASCAR schedule, but we are having one heck of a race. So 126 gives a solid push to Derek Garrison all the way down the backstretch. I think the 26 is figured out. 78, the 777, they're working together. He's got to find someone to work with, so he's trying out the 10 as a dancing partner. And so far it seems to be working. He was not able to clear Gary himself, but he got Derek past him. Try and get Derek up there to challenge the 78 of Gary Sapinski for the lead. They're running real close together. 26 knows exactly where that right front corner panel on his car appears to be. He's getting right up on the 777 of Michael Pegg on corner exit. These guys running very, very close together. Almost in net code range of each other. I'd be very careful if I was both of those guys, but these guys know the dimensions of their car, and that is that is a skill not many people learn, is how big their car is necessarily. But once you get the idea of where all 4 corners are, you can put a car in places most people would think aren't possible. Take a look here, 429. Paul Witt was able to clear John Held, put himself in the 5th position. We'll go ahead and we'll ride along here with Paul for a little bit, watch the racing ahead of him. He's currently dealing with a wall of dirty air back here, so he's in a position where he's doing everything he can to try and save his tires because he does not have downforce someone like Gary Sapinski does. You can hear him lifting going into turn 3 already. He's doing everything he can to save. He sees the 26 and the 777 running super, super hard beside each other. It's like, go ahead, boys. Wear your stuff out. I'll be here when you're done. Right with the 26, Riley Marabello here. He is foot to the floor. He is matting this car going through turns 3 and 4. But you heard Paul Witt, he lifted. It's him lifting. That's really going to save the tires on his vehicle. Riley getting monster runs here on the bottom, challenging the 777 again. I don't think Michael Pegg is running as hard as he can through turns 1 and 2. I think he's doing his best to save something. Even entering low here on the bottom, Riley not lifting at all down there around the bottom. I think there's one other person I want to ride along with right now. That's Michael Pegg. Able to get back in the throttle just early enough that Riley's not able to clear him. That's killing Riley's momentum going down the backstretch. Michael able to clear him here. Here, Michael lifting a little bit going through turns 3 and 4 as well. Riley is not saving his tires. Definitely not like Michael Pegg is here. Probably not like your leader, Gary Slapinski. He's got all that fresh air, taking advantage of everything he's got. You heard all the way through turns 3 and 4, Gary did not lift. And by not lifting, I mean, that's going to use a little bit more tire, but for Gary Sapinski, he can afford to do it. He's the leader. With him being out here in front, his tires are going to last a lot longer doing that than everyone else's behind him. With 429 of Paul Witt challenging Michael Pegg a little bit there for the 4th position. Just enough to let Michael know he's there. Both these guys running very, very similar lap times. There's less than a 10th difference between the two their last time by. You know, we were watching Paul, though. He's lifting going, through turn 3. Michael Pegg is lifting going through turn 3. Both of these guys here playing that long game, trying to get as much out of these cars as they possibly can. We got 14 laps, going on 15 laps on these tires. We've only lost about 1.2 seconds of pace. So these cars still plenty fast. The question they've all got to be asking themselves is, when do I come down pit road? When do I take those tires? Here at lap 45, we're now inside everyone's window. Everyone's got 55 laps of fuel, 55, 45. You get 100 right there, so these guys can very easily make it to the end from here. I'd maybe running on fumes, depending on how much throttle you're using. But if you're running like the 777 and the 429 are, you could easily make it. So Paul Witt goes for a pass here on the 777 of Michael Pegg. Remember, that top side gets a really good run. Michael Pegg, though, just lets Paul Witt go. That's not a... These guys are going to go a lot faster running nose to tail than they are side by side. Michael Pegg saw Paul was coming with that run, and he just let him have it. He's like, sure, man, if your tires are better than mine, and they probably are, send it. I'll follow you. Pull me to the front. And that's also here what the 25 of John Held's doing. He's just sort of been watching these guys run side by side. He's only about a second and a half off of our leader currently, 1.7 seconds. To be more exact, but he's taken that draft run and he's keeping himself up inside the top 6 here. I mean, he's not falling off. He's keeping himself inside the conversation, but it looks like that 777 of Michael Pegg speed may be falling off a little bit harder than some of the other cars. Either that or the 25 just had that good of a run, but Michael Pegg being forced to run that slightly higher line, that is doing no favors to his tires. And while all this is going on, the 78, the 10, and the 26 are doing their best to check out. Gary's got a 10th on the 10. The 10's got 3 tenths. I think it's closer to 2 tenths. Yeah, it's now 2 tenths between all of them. Between himself and the 26, and from the 26 back to Paul Witt, it's almost a second and a half. So Paul barely able to sniff these guys' draft ahead of him. The 26 hits the wall there coming off turn 2. That was something that maybe we were expecting we were going to see. The longer these runs went on, the tighter these cars were going to get, especially coming out of turn 2. The tighter these cars coming out of turn 2, the more likely we're to see a big impact there on the walls. A 10 here, Derek Garrison goes for a pass on the 78 of Gary Sapinski. He's able to make it stick, but Gary goes for that cutback there. Gets to his left rear quarter panel there on the bottom. These two are still side by side. Looks like Gary was able to nose bar. Oh my goodness, looks like we got some contact further here in the back. 777 hit the wall. Came off the wall, hit right front of John Held. So back, we'll take a look at that real quick. Looks like a little bit of net code there. They didn't actually make any contact, I don't believe. We're going to watch from our friend the Chopper Cam here. But you're going to see the 777. He's going to He's going to hit the wall with the right side. He's going to come down. 25 is going to take evasive action. Let's take one more look. I don't know that they made contact. Check here from the far chase cam. No, that was definitely, you saw the space in between them. That was definitely some net code. So John Held may have damage there on the right front. Michael Pegg may have damage on the right front as well as the left rear from that. Net code's weird about all of that. As we go back to our leaders, the 10 of Derek Garrison was able to get past 78 of Gary Sapinski. Gary's still having pressure put on him from the 26 of Riley Marabello. Riley's not gone anywhere. Tell you who was hoping that racing amongst the front group was going to last a little bit longer was the 429 of Paul Witt. He's now 1.5, 1.6 seconds off the back of the 26, so he's not getting that draft pull anymore, and he lost the assistance from the 777 of Michael Pegg, so he is out here all alone. He is a full 0.3 slower by himself than the front three are together. All the front three running 30.8 second laps, almost 30.9. Paul Witt running 31.1, 31.2 second laps. This is not what he needed. He's got a huge gap between himself and Michael Pegg. He's got a huge gap between himself and Marabello. He's got to make up all of this space on his own, and unfortunately, and I was talking about that, he went from 1.7 to 1.7 back from Riley to 2 full seconds. So Paul Witt's got to be thinking, all right, when do I come to pit road? I know I can make it from here, but the lap times have only fallen off. I mean, we're going on 2 seconds of fall off here. Just about. Do I come to pit road now and make up a bunch of time? Can I make up a bunch of time? Or if I come now, will that be too early? Like I said, I expect Paul to hit pit road here within the next 10 laps, try and cut this second stint in about half. We know how Gary Sapinski pits. He's told us he keeps an eye on the guys behind him. If he sees someone like Paul Witt or Michael Pegg come to pit road, usually he's down pit road a lap or two later to try and mitigate that loss of time on the track. So we'll see how all that shakes out. Derek Garrison here, though, in the 10, our leader, he's no slouch himself. And I think the true wild card, because I don't think we've seen him run with us before, Riley Marabello. You know, I was mentioning, I was really looking forward to seeing what was going to happen when we got a bunch of laps on these tires. He was running side by side with Gary Sapinski, with Michael Pegg, with Derek Garrison, all three of them. And here he is. He's running third. I bet you since he tapped that wall, he's like, okay, I got to back this down a little bit. I got to go ahead and just ride. I bet you that's exactly what Riley's doing. He's not pushing it too hard. He's just sort of riding. You know, seeing what kind of tire he can save, just enjoying this train. They keep building more and more time here on that 4th place car. You know, Paul Witt almost 3 full seconds back from these three. So Marabello's not really feeling any pressure as we come to lap 60 here. There's still 40 laps. He's still getting excellent runs here on the 78. He's still getting excellent runs. You know, 78 is still getting excellent runs on the 10. These guys just all trying to save their tires. They know these tires are old. We have a caution. See, the 29 is sideways. Skip back. Was that the 25? I think that's 25 we see right there. See what happened. I think I saw the 29 involved, maybe? That's what happened. Not certain if he called it, because we are not in race chat. But it looks like the 25 is coming to pit road. And he just gets run over from behind by the 29. 29 brings it down pit road. 25 hard in the wall. Doesn't look like... Nope, that engine was not blown. He gets it whipped around. Gets headed back going the same direction. We're going to go ahead and we're going to ride along with the 25. I'd be willing to bet we are going to hear him braking and downshifting to make pit road. He was definitely trying to make pit road. And the 29 was sending it, but he brings it down pit road and immediately parks it. Looks like the 29 has decided to disconnect. And this gives us a shakeup. Fairly big shakeup, I would say. Derek Garrison, on pit road your leader, off pit road your leader. Gary Slapinski had a really long stop, a 28-second stop. Not something you're used to seeing from Gary Slapinski. If I had to guess, maybe some damage on that car that he decided he needed to fix, but it looks like the 429 of Paul Witt, he came off pit road, so he is going to be in second place. He started first. Remember, he was all the way in the back. And it looks like, in all of that excitement, we missed it. Michael Pegg was the first person to come down pit road. So he is also our currently only car a lap down. But at the time of that caution, I don't think he was eligible to be the lucky dog. So he's going to have to take that wave around. That's going to put him at the back of the pack. That caution is not something the 777 wanted to see at all. But we know Michael Pegg is fast. We expect to see him up here towards the top 5 before the end of this race, especially with less than 40 laps left. We'll be seeing him again. So our top 5, as it stands right now, we have the 10 of Derek Garrison. He will be restarting first. The 429 of Paul Witt, he will be restarting second. 43 is Sandy Curtis. He's up 14 spots from 17th to 3rd. So he'll be restarting there in 3rd place in that John Andretti Cheerios Petty throwback. I think that's probably one of my favorite paint schemes on the track. That was the color of the 43 when I was growing up. I love that car. The 99 of Kim Kraus started 24th, currently up to 4th. Our biggest mover so far, up 20 spots to restart within the top 5, and then to round out your top 5 will be the 24 of Jason Adams. Jason Adams here started 5th, is running 5th. Seems very confident in the ability of that car. This is probably the most surprising thing, is seeing Gary Slapinski. He's all the way back here in 14th after those pit stops. And I just had a birdie in my ear from race control let him know that he's going all the way to the back on this restart. So he'll be restarting either 17th or 18th. I believe 17th. Showing 14th currently. It'll be showing 14th because the 91 and the 00 pitted. So he'll be restarting pretty far here in the back, but we retaking the green here on lap 65. You can bet you're going to see Gary Slapinski pick his way through this field. especially if he's able to link up with his teammate in the 777. We'll be seeing both of these guys before this race is over. We'll head back here to the front. 10 of Derek Garrison. He is currently commanding the field, bringing him through turns 3 and 4. He's been really good on these restarts, but he's got the fastest car of the night, and Paul Witt to his outside. Paul currently holding not only our fastest lap time, but also our pole time. See what Paul can do here on the outside. He's got Kim Kraus all over his rear bumper. Kim gets a good start. Paul should too. Green flag is out. Paul looks like he's able to beat the 10 to the line by a nose. Excellent start there from the 429 as they dive it here into turn 1. Paul probably going to give a little bit room. He gives a lot of room to the bottom there. You saw what happened on that initial start. Doesn't want that to happen again. As they send it down the backstretch, Derek Garrison trying to block the 43 as they go into turn 3. Paul Witt dropping back from second to third, but he's not, the top's not really where he likes to run. He much prefers the bottom here. So if he can get to the inside of Sandy Curtis, I suspect he'll be able to make a lot of time. But he's keeping it here more towards that outside. Jason Adams up from 5th to 4th. He's challenging Paul Witt there. Paul's able to get the cutback there on the 43. They are 3 wide further back in the pack. Paul Witt on the outside there. Looked like the 91 of Joel Guy came off pit road. That's going to stack up a whole bunch of guys, kill a whole bunch of momentum, especially there on that bottom as Joel's just trying to keep it out of the way, but that's allowed Paul Witt and Derek Garrison to build a little bit of a gap between themselves and Sandy Curtis. 0.3 of a second as Sandy's currently fighting the 24 side by side, door to door. These guys really tight on each other as the 99 dives low, making it 3 wide, headed towards turn 3 here. They're able to get it sorted out. Sandy Curtis was able to clear Jason Adams, taking him back 2 wide. Jason looks like he's going to lose 2 spots there. They're 3 wide behind him. That 26, very aggressive. He's got the 17 and what looks like the 92. The 17, 92, 26 all get into it right in front of the 25. That collects a whole bunch of drivers. Caution is out. So we'll go back. We'll take a look at this. I think this happened around the 17 of Gary Ragland. See, we're going through here. The 92 gets a run. He goes to the outside. 17 sees the 26 to his inside. Tries to get the 26 plenty of room. Looks like he tags the 92 in that. We're going to go back. We're going to check that from our friend the Chopper King. We're going to see if what we're seeing is accurate. It looks like the 17... He gave a lot of room to the 26. 92 thought he had more room. You see the 92 come across the 17's bumper. 17 here. Yeah, 92. That looks like 2 guys racing for the same piece of real estate to me. Go ahead and we ride along with the 17. He gives a lot of room to the 26 to his inside. The 92 comes across his bumper here. That looked like 2 guys racing for the same piece of real estate, like I said. Unfortunately, the 92 came off the worst for it. But then we got the 25, John Held. This happened right in front of him. He's got the 78 of Gary Sapinski right behind him. As they come through this, John gets collected. Gary gets collected. Looks like that was the... Who was that to his... We'll skip back. Gary Sapinski looks at the 83, I believe. No, that's... I'm looking at the wrong scoring here. And that's okay. Let's see who we got. Not entirely certain who that was. All right, so we got Michael Pegg there. So Michael's coming through with the 52. So he's able to skirt by and avoid all of it. Was that the 53? You know what? I bet it was 28. Yep, it was the 28 of Larry Eddy. They got into it there. Going through here. He gets caught. No, he gets past it. So yeah, it must have been 53. That was a chaotic crash. We're going to go ahead and we're going to watch this from someone who got through it. We're going to watch this from the point of view of the 777 here of Michael Pegg. Because he kind of watched he had an almost front row seat to this. See, he saw that smoke and immediately started checking up. Watch this one more time. '92 again, just with that monster run. Coming, just ducked, looked like he just ducked a little bit low. Thought he had the room there with the 17 to his inside. Unfortunately, did not. And that collects just about half the field. Unfortunate for everyone involved. But we did mention everyone does have a pair of faster pairs. So just about everyone here is going to have everything they need. We don't have too many green flag laps on these tires. So no one opting to come down pit road. Maybe expecting another caution. Remember, we had a caution around lap 25. All these guys came down pit road, put tires on. Everyone came down pit road, put tires on 11 laps ago. We'll see how all this shakes out. Looks like Gary Sapinski is our first person to come down pit road, but it was only a 4.5 second stop, so that's putting some fuel in the car. That was him, John Held, Riley Marabello, Randolph Richard, Ben Gear, Jason Anderson, and Thomas Holder. The other thing those guys would be doing is they'd be checking for damage on the car. I believe each and every one of those cars were in some way involved in that caution. Here at the front, your top 5 is the 10 of Derek Garrison, 429 of Paul Witt, 43 of Sandy Curtis, 99 of Kim Kraus, and the 24 of Jason Adams. Lights are out on the pace car. We'll be going back green this time by here on lap 73. Paul Witt got an excellent start on the 10 last time. Is he able to replicate that this time? Green flag is out. He is not. 10 got a much better run. Paul Witt moves all the way down to the bottom already, trying to cut off that run from the 43. He's trying to get back in that preferred line down there on the bottom. He's able to get there. He's bringing the 43 of Sandy Curtis with him. These guys are out and away. Oh, caution in the back. Looks like the 19 is around. Got caught up. Was that the 53? Not certain. That collects the 91. Going back to the start. We'll see what happened. Immediately back under caution. No, that was the... Just go ahead and rewind it a little bit. 83? 83. That's who that is. That is the 83 here of Looks like Rob Malone. They go down into turn 1 and 2. Rob's really high up the track. Hits the wall. That sends him down into the 19. Collects the both of them. Fortunately, for the most part, it's just the two of them involved. But then the 91 is collected by a spinning Ben Gear. So that is unfortunate. We'll go ahead and we'll ride along here with Joel Guy. See that white car up there just above the red in the third lane. He's up there. He's going to bounce off the wall right here. It sends him down into the 19 of Ben Geary. You see, Joel's sort of expecting these guys to get off the wall after that, and they do not. So that's how he gets caught up in that. So that is unfortunate. I do believe he would have been our lucky dog there. Not too much to look at with that one. Just someone just running out of racetrack. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do, we got a few laps before we go back green. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab the 429 of Paul Witt. I think we're going to grab him for an interview. He's had a very interesting evening. Paul Witt, this is William in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, William.
Man, you have had one heck of an up and down night. I mean, you got involved in that first caution all the way to the back. Now you're all the way up here to second place. I mean, what is it like out there? It looks like it's a lot of really tight racing from up here.
Dude, these cars are very tight. I mean, they're very tight. If you're not watching it, you'll slam the wall. I'm pushing out of 2 a little bit. The front end's pushing just a little bit towards the wall out of 2, so you got to be really careful with it.
Yeah, and that's definitely what caused a couple of these cautions was someone just tagging that wall out of turn 2. It really seems like it sends you down the track. Do you think maybe there's some springs in that turn 2 wall? Because people seem to bounce off it like it's made of rubber.
Well, it's a safer barrier, so yeah, it's got some springs to push you out.
Well, you obviously came from the back, just about 25th position, all the way up here into second. How have you been able to carve your way through the field? A lot of guys are having trouble passing tonight.
Well, I was passing early. You got to take the pass. You got to take it early. You're not going to do it later on in the run. So that's what I've been doing, is just setting them up and passing them early to get back up here. And now I don't know if I have anything for Garrison here, but we're going to give it a shot.
Well, we're going to wish you the best of luck. He has been racing everybody he's been around like it's the last lap all night. But you got your buddy Jason Adams behind you. I think between the two of you, you should get a pretty good start on him.
I hope so. This outside lane just does not get a good restart. Coming into 1 and 2, it looks like you lose a little bit. The last time Garrison started in first gear, and I was able to get behind him and take that bottom lane around. So hopefully he can do it again, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we're rooting for you, Paul, but I think I see the lights are out on that pace car, so we'll go ahead and we'll put you back with your team so you guys can strategize.
All right, thanks, William.
Thank you. That was your pole sitter, currently running in second, Mr. Paul Witt. Thank him for the opportunity to talk to him this evening. So we'll go ahead and we'll go through your top 5. Restarting in first here is the 10 of Derek Garrison. He's been fast all night. The 429 of Paul Witt. He's the fastest car tonight, but does he have what it takes to pass the 10? 24 of 43. Sandy Curtis restarting in third. 24 of Jason Adams right there behind Paul Witt. These guys are going to have to time their restart to be able to pass that 10. And in fifth, we have the 99 of Kim Kraus. That is your top 5. This pace car is off. They head him back into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. Paul Witt got a much better start that time. Looked like maybe he did the same thing Garrison did, restarted in first, got an excellent launch. Don't know if he'll be able to keep it side by side. He'll need to. Looks like Garrison's able to clear him. Sandy Curtis gets an excellent run through there. Sandy Curtis clears Paul Witt coming out of turn 2. Paul now has the 99 of Kim Kraus to his inside. That's not where he wants Kim to be. That outside lane is not where Paul Witt wants to be. We know he loves running that bottom lane as they are 3 wide behind him. The 26 here is taking the 52 and the, I believe that's the 28 of Larry Eddy, 3 wide down the front stretch. They're 3 wide going through turns 1 and 2. 52 really pushes up the track, loses a position there, and he gets into it. 25, 24 gets into it. Caution is back out again. And the 19 of Ben Gear gets drilled. Ben Gear super late to that caution. That was insane. As they come through here through turns 1 and 2. Saw a couple of these guys get into it. 52 gets loose. Not certain what happened there on the inside. So go ahead and we'll we'll watch the 52 Gary Whitmer Sr. here. So he pushed it real hard to get up there, cut it down. It's going to really damage both of these vehicles. Go ahead and we're going to ride along with the 25. Not certain what happened between him and the 24. That 52 comes across his nose, doored by the 24. Almost up and over John Held. This car slid a long way. That's a lot of throttle in there. Now, we'll ride along with Jason Adams. What happened to Jason? There's a little bit of contact between him and Larry Eddy that shoves him down into the 25. So that 26 took him 3 wide here going through the quad oval. He had one heck of a run, got a little bit loose there on the quad oval. He sends it here on the bottom, and the 52 just overdrives the corner. And I think he sees that Larry coming with that run, and that's really what kicks this whole thing off. Is the 52 sees the run coming from the outside and makes room, and when he does that, that steps the back end of that car out. And when that happens, we've been seeing people having issues with turn 2 all night long. That's just, unfortunately, a recipe for disaster. See the 19 already having a little bit of a rough time. And he gets collected by the 52. 25 comes back up the track. 19 just kind of along for the ride. But he had a little bit of contact there with the 777 of Michael Pegg. They're in turn 2. I don't think that damaged the car, but that definitely, I think that may have contributed to him being involved in that caution. I'm not entirely certain. There's a little bit of contact. Not certain if the 777 came down or the 19 came up, but either way, Ben Gear, I believe, has used both of his fast repairs. If he hasn't, then what we're seeing here is him just taking a tow. Now we got questions. We got lots of questions. 21 laps on these tires. No one so far has come to pit road. Is it too early to take tires? I don't know, but I think what we're going to go ahead and do as we are going to grab another one of our drivers this evening. So who do we have in here that we want to talk to? You know, he's running up here inside the top 5, currently scored second. I think we're going to grab the 43 of Sandy Curtis. We're going to talk to Sandy. Hey, Sandy, it's William in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Hey, so you have had a little bit of a wild ride tonight. You know, you started in 17th. You're currently running in second. Give us a quick breakdown of your race. What's it been like out there for you?
Pretty tough. You're okay for the first about 20 laps, and after that, it's not too good. I don't expect to stay up here for too long. My tires are a little toast, and these guys are fast, so I'm just trying to finish in the top 10. Anything over 17 is good for me, right?
I mean, I think anything over 17 is good for just about anybody. We seem to be, in my estimation, a little bit of a cautions breeding cautions thing. How long do you wait to come down pit road if we're in that position?
I won't be coming down pit road no more.
I understand that. Well, I think we're getting ready to go back green. Sandy, thank you for talking to us, and we hope we talk to you at the end of it.
Yeah, appreciate that, Will. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good show, hopefully, here at the end.
I have no doubt. Thank you, Sandy. And that is the driver of the 43, starting outside in second place, outside of Derek Garrison. Here we go. Paul Witt all over the back end of the 10, 99 all the back end of the 43. Green flag is out. Derek gets a good start. Better than anyone else on the inside line. That 26 pushing the 429 into turn 1. They are nose to tail, bumper to bumper. All three of these guys, almost no space in between them. You could probably barely fit a piece of paper in there. 26 goes low. Looks like he's able to get a run there on the 429. 10 goes to block at 429 to the outside. Not seeing the best kind of run out of the outside. We'll see. Paul Witt's able to stay up there, get that good momentum run there along the top. Not quite good enough. Sandy Curtis there dropping from second back to 5th place. Paul Witt still stuck out there on the top. They are 3 wide behind him. Paul's able to slot in back behind the 26. Oh, everyone is just jostling around, trying to take whatever kind of run they can. 10 of Derek Garrison blocking everybody for everything he's worth. The 26 and the 429 still side by side. The 43 was able to make up a position. He gets back up into the 4th place. As he's watching these guys race side by side, he was saying he doesn't think he was going to be sticking around here at the front for too much longer. He's saying his tires are pretty baked, but if these guys keep racing like this, Sandy Curtis definitely is still in this one. But I don't think we want to count that 43 out just yet. 78 goes for a pass, is able to take 4th place back. Paul Witt finally able to slot back into line. They're doing a lot of jostling around there along the backstretch. 26 goes to the outside of the 10. What does Marabello have? He's had a little bit of an up and down night, but here he is currently running in the 2nd position to the outside. Gets a good pinch there on the 10. Gets a really good run there off the top. Not able to clear Garrison by the time they make it into turn 3. Paul Witt has no idea who to go with. Does he go with Marabello? Does he go with Garrison? He doesn't know. All he knows is that he wants to go forward. He's got a 78 of Gary Sapinski working to his outside. Where's Gary Sapinski go? This is 2 by 2 for the lead. 4-car battle for 1st place. Sandy Curtis sneaking back into the picture. He fell back about 0.3 of a second. He's right back up with him. Side by side with Paul Witt. It's now 5 cars under a blanket, all trying to get that 1st position. And it's anybody's game. The 10 and the 26 keep swapping it back to back. The 78 all over the back of Derek Garrison, seeing what he can make of it. These guys running so close together. 43 and the 429 looks like they get together a little bit going into turn 1. Everyone keeps it pointed in the right direction. This is preventing these guys from really making any kind of moves, getting any kind of gap between themselves and the rest of the pack. Derek Garrison and Riley Marabello going at it. We are seeing the fight for the win right here. You can almost bet your bottom dollar whoever's able to come out on top in this fight is going to be the person who comes away with the win. both of these guys so fast. They've been showing how fast they are all night long. We've been talking about that 26 just about every single lap he's been up here. Only a couple times he's been back further in the pack, mired in traffic, but that caution looks like it was exactly what he needed. He gets a little bit of a hit there from the 78 going down the backstretch. Gary Sapinski going for the pass on the 26 on the inside here in turn 3. Not quite able to get it. Has to back out a little bit. So we have what looks to be about a 3-car breakaway for the lead. Just about that 429 Doritos car was able to clear the 43 of Sandy Curtis, but now he's got a rear view mirror full of the 777 of Michael Pegg, who's finally back up here in the top 5. I told you, 78, the 777, we were going to be talking about them before this race was over. But that 429 doing what he can to get back up there. I'd almost be willing to bet money if we have a caution between now and then. You see every single member of the top 5 come down pit road, put 4 tires on these cars. Gary Sapinski now has a rear view mirror full of Paul Witt. That 429 car was sitting 3/4 of a second back. He's right back up in this. It's currently looking like Derek Garrison got away with the lead. He's looking to really kind of build this gap out, and he's able to do that so long as these guys are racing side by side behind him. He wants that 26 and the 78 side by side as long as he can. The 429 though wants one of them to clear. He needs one of them to clear to be able to continue making up positions, but these guys racing very hard for second place. Looks like Marabello is able to come out ahead of Slapinski there. Going into turn 1, Marabello running up a little bit higher. He was expecting, I guess, Gary Sapinski to really send it into turn 1. Didn't quite do that, but Marabello was able to hold on to that second place. He's going to try and set his sights forward. He's got to keep one eye looking in that rear view mirror at Gary Sapinski. All while Michael Pegg here, he's hoping, just wear him out, guys. Just wear him out. I know we don't have too many laps left, but I got something for you. Just wear him out a little bit more, as we are about 7 laps left to go in this race. Gary Sapinski challenging again for that second spot. Was able to get to the inside of Marabello there on the exit of turn 2. Was able to put that side draft on him going into turn 3. That's going to hurt Marabello's momentum going through turns 3 and 4, but he's got that preferred line coming out of 4. As they go down the front stretch there, we are 6 laps to go. All while the 10 here of Derek Garrison is pulling away. He's able to build about a half a second gap on the rest of the field. There's a 429 of Paul Witt falls to the 777 of Michael Pegg. Derek Garrison, we were saying whoever won that battle between him and the 26 is probably going to win this race. And it's looking like so long as everything goes smoothly from here on out, Derek is able to build that gap. 5 laps to go to Riley Marabello. Gary Sapinski, though, has not given up. He's doing everything he can to keep up with these guys. See if he can get that, at least that second position. Excellent run down the backstretch. Goes for a dive here into turn 3. I don't know that he's going to be able to get it going here through turns 3 and 4. Not quite. He's able to get it there on the left rear quarter panel. He's able to side draft, pull the 26 back a little bit. They're door to door going into turn 1. But Marabello has shown all night long that he is not one to let a position go easily. So he goes for the cutback here on the 78 of Gary Sapinski. He gets it done almost perfectly. Gary tags the wall just a little bit. That's going to hurt his momentum. 26, excellent run down the back. Sends it through turns 1 and 2. See, he's running Gary Sapinski high a little bit there. Trying to see if he can force the 78 to lift. 78 does. As they head back into turn 1 and 2, Gary Sapinski still running that bottom, running where he's most comfortable. He's able to get some time here on the 26. Marabello maybe having to think here before too long about guarding that bottom lane. He and Gary Sapinski side by side, swapping second place back and forth for the last few laps. As we come to the line here, 2 laps to go. I think Derek Garrison has walked away with this one. He is a full second ahead of Gary Sapinski and Riley Marabello, but these two not giving an inch. These two, this is the race for second place. These guys running side by side, neither one really giving an inch. Riley looks like he was able to come out ahead of Gary Sapinski. That time, white flag lap. Gary Sapinski's got 4 corners to try and make that pass back. Riley diving down to the inside, stopping Gary from getting the run that Gary Sapinski needs, or so he thought. Gary's still able to come in with that shallower exit. Still door to door here, coming down the backstretch. They are side by side going into turn 3. Looks like the 26 is able to hold him off. Derek Garrison is your winner. 26 of Marabello gets Gary Slapinski at the line. Gary's third, Marabello second. We got the 777 of Michael Pegg. He is fourth, and Paul Witt comes home in fifth. Derek Garrison winning this by over a second. Riley Marabello beats Gary Slapinski by barely a bumper. Fantastic drive there from the 26. He and the 78 running door to door there. Excellent drive from everyone tonight. Phenomenal racing. Go ahead and we'll take a look at the 10 as he just, rightfully burns it down. He earned that win. He fought all night for that lead. So our congratulations here to the 10 of Derek Garrison. See how many of our top 3 are here in the race chat. Does not look like we have anyone but the 78 of Gary Sapinski. So here's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put ourselves in the race chat here real quick, just so we can go ahead and let these guys know. Hey, Derek Garrison, Riley Marabello. This race was broadcast. I want to go ahead and compliment both of you on a fantastic race tonight. Derek, congratulations on your win. Riley, hard fought second place. I hope you come back and race with us again later. Phenomenal job, everybody, tonight. So I want to go ahead and thank all of our drivers. I think the only person we can talk to, it looks like Gary Sapinski has disconnected. So we'll go ahead and thank everybody for a fantastic race tonight. Everyone put on an absolutely phenomenal show. I was really enjoying what we were seeing. I hope everyone here in YouTube land enjoyed the race as well, as we get a nice Polish victory lap from Derek Garrison. Well-earned win from Derek. I think that'll just about do us. We will have our Wednesday night series tomorrow night. You should hear from me again Thursday for our truck series recruitment race. So if you want to come out and run with us, practice is at around 7 o'clock. Our green flag should be around 8 o'clock. So if you want to come run with us, come look for us. This is Eastern Standard Time. Look for us in Hosted. Look for Lucky Dog Sim Racing, and that room should be posted it's typically posted by Brian Pierce. So you know what you're looking for. But, you want to come out and run with us? Come out and run with us. We will have our short track late model series on Friday and our Xfinity Super Speedways on Saturday. And then I do believe this weekend is the NASCAR Clash at the Coliseum. So if the NASCAR season is something you enjoy the Clash, and we'll be right back to it ourselves on Monday. So hopefully everyone has a good rest of your evening. I had a good time. Hopefully you had a good time. But until next time, have a good one.